going to be a really short one today. Honestly, I spent most of the day in my word, and that's not me trying to be like super spiritual. I'm actually sermon prepping because I have the opportunity to preach at my church this Sunday. So I spent a lot of quiet time, and then me and Shauna and the kids, we went out tonight and went out to dinner and all that. Just wanted to do some family time, and I honestly just didn't want to carry my camera around. So no excuses, but there you go. Want to hang out with my family. But I did shoot this earlier. Hope you guys enjoy. Promise I'll be back tomorrow morning, launch out into the deep, and I love you guys. And I gotta go.
We made it to day 12. Getting more and more to the point where this is not feeling like just a thing that I'm doing, and it's starting to turn into feeling like my new normal, feeling like this is, I don't want to say who I am, but this is what I do. Like, I'm a guy who wakes up early in the morning. I'm a guy who works out in the morning. And like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good feeling. And it's been hard and it's been a grind, but it feels pretty daggum good. Like, it's starting to feel, but I'll put it to you this way. Before I go to bed at night, there's not that question as much anymore about, am I going to wake up in the morning? No, I'm going to wake up in the morning. And I thank God, but thank you guys for holding me accountable too. It's day 12, it's shoulder day. Let's go get it.
I know you can't see me, but I wanted to talk about this for a second while it was fresh on my mind. I'm right here. I was thinking about the whole 12-day thing and how I've only been doing this for 12 days, and it already feels like almost like an identity shift. If you would ask me 2 or 3 weeks ago, are you a morning person? I would have been real quick to say, like, no, I am not a morning person. Now, I mean, honestly, if somebody were to ask me, I'd be like, yeah, I get up every morning. Like, it's almost becoming, I feel like it's more than just a habit or a hobby or a routine or something like that. It's becoming a part of who I am. And don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to say, this is definitely not a pride. Like, I'm definitely not trying to be like, this is who I am. It's who I've always been. But I have a point that I'm trying to make here. It's only been 12 days, and I'm already feeling like completely different, not just, in my body, but in my mindset as well. And I started thinking about, imagine if all it took was 12 days to change the course of your relationship with God. And I was thinking about, like, if all I did, and I look at it as pretty small, it's felt like, we're getting close to 2 weeks, but it's felt a lot longer than that. But if all it took was 2 weeks to completely change your relationship with God, to completely change your walk with God, completely change your attitude, would it be worth it? If I told you that in just 12 days, everything could be different, how much effort would you on your part be willing to put in? And I was thinking about that because I'll be transparent. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm very quick to say, to try to put in the physical work and the natural and say, okay, let's do it. I'm willing to challenge myself and put it on YouTube and be held accountable. But what about in my spiritual life? Like, if you told me, I feel like if you told me in 12 days, Alex, you wouldn't even be able to recognize yourself. You would hear from the Holy Spirit so much more clear. Your relationship would be so much different. Revelation would flow a lot more freely. I'm not trying to say that we have to work for God's revelation, or we have to work for God's approval. Don't hear what I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, God has already done everything that He's going to do through His Son. He's waiting on us to pursue Him. And I strongly feel like it's more than just a strong feeling. I almost know this to be true for me, that you can have as much God as you want. And I say that to say God's not holding back. So in return, what if you don't have the relationship you want with God, if you're not hearing God the way that you want to hear God, it's not on God's end. And so, and it's kind of a difficult conversation to have, because I don't want to get the point across that we have to, quote unquote, strive, because I believe in a lot of ways we have to lay aside all of our striving to get to God. But sometimes it's work to conquer the flesh. Sometimes it's work to, I'm going to set my alarm 30 minutes or an hour earlier, not because if I didn't, God wouldn't speak to me, but this is me trying to carve out some quality time with Him. I compare it a lot to, in as much as you can compare it, and also in a way you can't compare it, because me and Shauna are definitely human. We definitely make mistakes, but I compare it to like my marriage with Shauna. You know, I don't have to strive for Shauna's love. Shauna has chosen to love me. Shauna doesn't have to do anything ever again for the rest of her life in order for me to love her. I'm going to love her till the day I leave this earth, because I've made that decision. And it is not, I require nothing of her. She doesn't have to wake up in the morning and quote unquote be a good wife. None of that. I've chosen to love her, period. However, there are things that we can do in our marriage to grow closer. And even though I've chosen to love her, communication can always get better. Communication can always grow. And that takes work. So I'm not working for her love, but in a way, I want to show her how much I love her. Let me put it to you this way. She doesn't have to work for my love. I got to try not to get distracted because I am still driving. I got to be careful. But she does not have to work for my love. But there are things that she could do that would show me and prove to me how much she loves me. And if she loves me in her actions the way that she loves me in her words, it would look a certain way. And with that just comes, before I go any further, somebody tell me, is this making any sense? Does that make sense? So I was just thinking about that. Like, I got by the way, we'll talk about this later. I got my cool little new microphone set up, but I was thinking about, man, just 12 days. And I was thinking about how much I want to do this whole give it everything that I have. I don't want that to just be, man, that's the whole point of this challenge. It's been a physical challenge and a spiritual challenge with confessions and with quiet time and all of that. So guys, I encourage you. I haven't said all that. I knew I had a point somewhere. You can't see my face. Well, you can't see my face anyway, but having said all that, I encourage you guys to prove to yourself in the natural, or if you're proving to yourself in the natural, prove to yourself in the spiritual realm too. Prove to yourself that just a few days can make all the difference in the world. And it's Bible as well. It says that if we take steps towards Him, He will take steps towards us. If we push and press in and seek after Him, He's going to all the more seek after us. That's it. I quit. I'm tired. Awesome shoulder day. Let's get started with the rest of the day.